be quiet, you making it hot. We getting lit. Y'all really think you know me, you don't know me, just stop. Look, we getting lit on my side of town. Got the Glock in my pocket, we dropping down. You know I'm keeping my guys around. We don't ever reload, we got lots around. Leonardo the cap, the way y'all be acting. And we don't dodge the static, we bout that action. The ratchet come out if you catch me lacking. So don't make me get this little Uzi cracking. I show him my fish, she just get to clapping. And I got Balenciagas just to match it. I ain't shooting shit, nigga, I'm just capping. Y'all could be in the streets, I'ma stick to rapping. We getting lit. We getting lit at the spot, let me know if you with us or not. We getting lit. Y'all think you gangbangers, you know, nigga, just stop. We getting lit. Y'all try to run from the cops, but be quiet, you making it hot. We getting lit. Y'all niggas think you know me, you don't know Cam.
We getting lit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mic check. Mic check. Yes, go. All right. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I
You
can
hear me?
I can hear you.
Are we on the air?
We are on the air. Speaking of which, Wild Out is back. But not that we gonna watch it, but just shout out to the canon on that. But with that being said, this is another episode, another installment of. Nobody's gonna fill in. We've just.
You've never done that before.
But why can't we move on the fly, bro? Why can't we move on the fly?
Yo,
the fuck?
You can't be throwing no look passes when niggas is not prepared,
He looked
bro.
at us like we was crazy.
You didn't draw up that play. Like, we didn't talk about the play.
So y'all just not gonna top the lunchroom. Nobody's gonna say it. Or it's just gonna be me all the time.
Yeah, the play is flustered.
We turned the ball over at this point.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and we didn't get back
the
with
ball is
defense.
dropped. Exactly.
We just sitting here arguing.
Exactly.
Niggas basket.
We the Rockets right now. We like 0-18. You know, 18 game losing streak.
Let's run it back. We call timeout.
All right, I'm just gonna do it. All right. This is another episode, another installment of the Lunchroom podcast. Yeah. So with that being said, I am your guy Dapper Dan. Across from me is my guy Fritz. Next to my guy Fritz is my guy Ray, aka the movie guy. Behind the camera is my guy Fredo, as usual. And today we have a birthday guest.
Birthday boy, my big brother Kelly, aka Kels, aka Settle, aka Dance and Take Your Bitch, my brother. Happy birthday, man.
And
Happy birthday.
looking younger than ever.
Happy birthday, man.
We doing this getting money. Showing niggas who love me, nigga. Wabbity dabbity. Niggas out here don't love me.
What's it called? So with that being said, you know that drop. That means to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this video. We appreciate every like and comment and subscription. So please, that matters to us. If you fuck with us, rock with us. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
subscribe. But we're gonna switch it up a little bit today, guys. We spoke and said, you know what? Let's hit him with something different. That's why I tried to hit y'all with something different. And niggas was just looking, struck out looking.
That was his foreshadowing. Like, he was like, oh, we gonna do everything
I don't
different today. I'm
understand
like,
why
yo.
he thought. Whatever, man.
Flex.
Listen, man, I don't know how Magic Johnson was throwing all them passes because clearly niggas don't be ready like that. But we're going to hop into the free. So with that being said, I'm just play whatever I drop. I got it.
Use your common sense.
So that's we're going to jump into the free. Shoot. Let's start here. Dwyane Wade was recently on I Am Athlete. If anybody knows me personally, you know that Dwyane Wade is my guy. That is my favorite.
That's your GOAT?
Not my GOAT, but that's like my favorite player to watch, you know that. But either way, he was on one of my favorite podcasts, I Am Athlete, and obviously they transitioned into the conversation about, you know, his son, which is now his daughter, Zion, which went to Zaya. And it was a very interesting conversation about just being a father, being a parent in these times. So I don't know if you guys have watched it.
No.
I watched it.
Well, I'll let you speak first, and then how did you feel about it? What'd you get from it?
Well, first and foremost, that was like I've known about the podcast, but I've never saw an episode. I've only seen like clips, so that was the first episode I watched. But you know, honestly, I felt like that was a very powerful conversation. You know, Dwyane Wade seems to, you know, like he seems the key word he used, like he educated himself, you know, to become a better father. That's why I kind of was interested, because I feel like when it comes to the whole like transsexual conversation, you know, like sometimes, you know, I was more ignorant than I am now. Like there is stuff that I still, you know, would like to like have questions about and like still trying to grasp understanding. But you know, like, you know, the regular narrative is people still are very like hesitant when it comes to that conversation. They're not comfortable. And Dwyane Wade, for him to be basically on Front Street, like advocating, you know, behind his daughter, is a beautiful thing to me. Because like he said, he said something my father always said. He's like, you know, naturally you want your child, at least that's how it should be. You want naturally your child to be better than you. And like they say, like your children, they want to be like their parents. But as a parent, you know, I would think the typical or the best thing you could do for them is like, no, be yourself because I want you to be better than me type shit. Some parents, I feel like they don't have that mentality. And also, like I said, like some parents, you know, they're stuck in their ways. They're stuck in their ways. They're not even open-minded enough to educate themselves on certain conversations. I'm starting to have that just conversations in general with my father where I realize, like, you know, after a while, I guess, like, they stop progressing mentally. And I feel like as a parent or just a person in general, when you start progressing mentally, that's when you start, like, realizing, like, certain shit. Like, you're not growing as a person no more. And I feel like that's a bad thing. But like I said, like, I learned the other day, like, tranny is kind of like a bad word. Like, it's I don't want to say it's a slur, but it's like
derogatory.
Yeah, it's a derogatory term. Like, the term is trans or transsexual type shit. And I was like, now I'm trying to make, you know, take it out of my vocabulary type shit. Like, you know, simple shit like that.
Nah, and that goes a long way for sure. Because, I mean, just to give my take on it, you know, it's just he made important points for me about, like, just this generation. Like, we're all moving forward with certain things. Like, you can't be stuck in your 1970s, 1980s, even 1990s bag with this whole, like, with everything. But just specifically with parenting, it's like, you might have to have that conversation one day with your child. Some people in this room may not want to ever have that. I don't think I ever want to have it, but I'm open to it more so than anything now because I know it's a high possibility. It's not like back in the day where, like, they may hide it for their entire childhood and then maybe later on, or they just may never do it. But, like, now it's like, they might hit like 12, 13 and be like, all right, like, I'm trying to have that convo. Or maybe even earlier, like his daughter had that conversation at like 8. Yeah. They told me they didn't go public till 12.
Yeah. Sheesh.
They've been had that conversation.
How old is she now?
Like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
he said he knew when she was like, he started noticing when she was 3, and that he took it upon himself, you know, with Gabrielle to start having a conversation with her. Like the seed was planted. Like, yo, what can I do? Like, if this happens to be the case, how can I prepare for that? And that's when he started going the path of education for himself.
I mean, even without me watching the episode, I just think it's a very powerful and brave thing for them to do because they were the butt of a lot of people's jokes. A lot of people don't agree with what they're doing, like Lil Boosie, for example, and stuff like that. And I understand that side for sure. I understand it. But then again, like you said, it's about the times. You can't be continuously ignorant and whatnot. But for them to stand by their child's side and to be on this journey with them, like, more power to them, man. Nah,
for sure. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that in my heart, at least where I stand today, that if I was a parent, that there's certain things I wouldn't let go on. Not comparing it to his situation, but there's certain things I wouldn't allow until they get older, especially when it comes to, like, you know, changing
something
body.
so big.
Yeah, like I'm like, all right, well,
change.
Like, I get your stance, but at the same time, like, we're not about to do that. Like, while I still have to sign the paperwork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's something you're going to do when you get to that age. But because there's still time for you to change your mind throughout these years.
Too.
I'm pretty sure they've had that conversation. Like,
I mean, I would imagine so.
Because even I remember, just to open up the conversation more, I think you posted it in the group chat. Right. Or was it Ty? That I think they were trying to pass a law in, like, down south. I don't know if it was Texas or something like that.
Probably Ty.
But basically, they were going to try to, like, make it a law where it was okay for, like, kids, like, no matter what age, if they wanted to transition, they were either open to transition or they were trying to stop. I think it was more so they were trying to stop kids from, like, doing it at a certain age type shit. And, like, you know, it was just something that that Ty put in the group chat. And, you know, like, you know, people had their comments on the thing. Some people agree, some people didn't agree. But it's like, I don't know, when it comes to, like, shit like that, that's what I mean by, like, non-progressive. Like, if you think about it, these conversations are good. Like, even Dwyane Wade, he thanked Boozy, even though he might not agree with what he's saying. He's like, yo, thank you for at least commenting because you're opening up the conversation in general.
Right.
And like I said, like, some people, they might not agree, like, that law and stuff. I wouldn't agree with that because I feel like it's a what's the word? A slippery slope. You pass a law to control any person's body. Who knows after that? Like I said, they're going to try to pass something else after that. But it's a conversation like you said. You ask me, do I want my offspring to be, you know, homosexual or transsexual, naturally, I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Like, you asking me if I want that? No. It's not even because of that. I'm also thinking about, like, yo, I wouldn't want my offspring to, like, put themselves, because you know what comes with that.
Right.
You're making it harder for you. Like, you're going to have a harder time in life if that happens to be the case. Will I accept them? Of course. I'm going to love my child no matter what. No matter what it is they do.
Got to.
For me, all that. You got to give them, like Dwyane Wade said, unconditional love.
That's the biggest point I took from it. Is like, at the end of the day, my job is, as a parent, would be to make sure, like, you live your best life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to ever be a hindrance to your happiness ever. Because, like, I couldn't live myself with that kind of disdain that my child would have for me if I was really against their lifestyle, or just, you know, whatever comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Just being on the opposite ends. And, like, I just know the resentment and that would store itself within their soul. So, like, that's, like, I'd rather, you know, buy in and, you know, educate myself, and maybe, you know, feel less, you know, hurt about it, you know. But before we move on, I wanted to open the conversation up a little bit more and just do a scenario. So if this were to happen to anybody at this table, anybody in the room who wants to speak on it, what is the first thing you're gonna do? Like, your child, daughter, son comes to you and says, the same exact situation as Dwyane Wade, hey, I don't feel like I'm a girl or a boy. I feel like I'm the opposite. What is your first response?
Why do you feel that way? Like, I'm going to have a conversation. Like, why do you feel this way? How long have you felt this way? You know, how did you get here? And then from there, you know, it's just going to I feel like the first thing you're going to do is have a conversation. I'm just trying to understand, like, where did this come from? You know, why are you thinking like this? And like that, like, and then after that, it's more so education myself. You know, like, it could, like, if you say kids, they could change their mind at any moment. You know, sometimes they have phases. So I will, you know, educate myself and wonder if this is a phase or not, and just pay closer attention.
Until Ray answered, I didn't know. But why do you feel that way is the perfect conversation starter. So I think I would go with that.
Yeah, for me, I'll start there and then probably move on to, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I wouldn't have all this conversation at once. I feel like would be a lot to throw up, but, like, maybe the next conversation is, you know, do you know what comes with this because of, you know, what society is? Yeah. Do you know that family members may look at you and not feel the same way about you that they did before? You know what I'm saying? So I would have to take him or her down that step ladder. You know what I'm saying?
That's like you said, maybe not all at once, but that's definitely like a preparation thing. Like,
for sure.
Give them both sides of the coin.
Exactly. Since we're talking about parenting, it's only right we go to this next step in free. I was just a random thought I had during the week. I was like, as a parent, what age would you give your child a phone, especially with the way the internet is today? Because I know when I didn't get my first phone till I was 10.
Better than me. I'm probably, you got ask around the room, I probably got my phone the latest of everybody here.
Wasn't it like
I was 14?
14? Yeah.
Freshman year high school.
I was 13.
Yeah. So what age?
Nah, he was the oldest.
17.
No, Jeez.
My first sidekick.
Word?
Nah, because you was 16. You was 16 because I was 13.
Yeah, but my first sidekick, it wasn't even the LX, it was the ID.
No, you ain't had the ID.
Yeah, the tiny one, the small one.
You had it wasn't the ID. Like, you had a camera. The ID didn't have a camera. But yeah, he was 16.
Well, sidekick,
yeah.
What is it because your parents didn't give it to you? Like, they didn't want you to have one?
They just, like, that was never really
They didn't care for it.
Yeah,
he was like,
shit.
you want to get it on your own.
Kelly's older too, so that's just like a victim of circumstance.
Yeah.
Kelly was definitely a victim of circumstance on numerous occasions, bro, throughout life. Well, we're not going to get into that, but
that's that sibling
shit. At this day and age, I feel like 10 is the best time. If it was like 10, 15 years ago, I would have said 13, 14. But you need to stay in contact. Like, it's such a technological world these days. Like, I feel like you need to be able to. It might be a bullshit phone, like, where it's just me, the mom, a couple cousins and shit like that, but
I don't think you can get a BS phone these days at this point.
You can't.
You still
get the
can?
Obama joint stuff.
Oh, I mean,
it probably wouldn't be nothing crazy like that.
Track phone, something like that.
I don't know if I'm getting my
kid a Boost Mobile joint stuff. I've seen a Boost Mobile commercial the other day. I didn't know they still around.
I thought they was a T-Mobile.
Yeah.
T-Mobile, right?
I was gonna say Sprint,
Sprint.
but
Oh,
Sprint
Sprint?
is under T-Mobile.
See, I don't even know.
T-Mobile took over everything, bro. It's on some Apple shit.
Tough.
Very much.
But
But not
I-
really. I've always been Team T-Mobile. So
What's it called? I mean, I'll be switching teams like Bron. But
I'm whatever cheapest. Whatever's cheapest, my nigga. I'm a smut. I'm trying to get the. For me, I'm the cheapest.
nah, but for me, I kind of disagree. I might go a little higher in age. I might go like 12.
I was thinking 13.
I was thinking 13, but I was like, 12. I might go 12.
But like 8th grade. 8th grade
I was
probably
thinking
the best
7th,
age for
8th.
me because I mean,
It's gonna be tough. I don't know
Yes,
because
you need to stay in contact with
I
your
would
kids and stuff like that.
I would
but
be on that parenting lock shit, like all that timing, bro.
I agree.
It's
It's
a
a
lot.
safety thing though. Like you gotta call them, all that type of shit. Like you don't know if you need to leave the house and go do something. They gotta stay in the house.
that's true. Because my thing is we
And
don't do house phones.
I was
no
gonna
more.
exactly. I
I didn't
was gonna
count
say
that fact in. We don't do
Definitely gonna
house
say
phones.
that. I
So,
highly doubt
yeah.
I'm gonna have a house phone, bro.
I don't
You're
know. I'm
right.
still.
Yeah.
I still
So it
might
might have
just-
to be 10 or even 9.
Just because like I don't want my kid to like be on that social media shit too early. So
That's
when
what
it
I'm
comes with
saying.
a
That's where you
phone-
got to be like on them type shit. Like
my whole thing is like when it comes to media and stuff like that. If anything, I heard this trick the other day. You make them use your phone, like sign into my phone. Now you got they all like unless they sign out or some shit like that, or they
Yeah.
save it. You got all they like you
the
can track them
information
like
and
that.
shit. That makes sense. That's smart.
It
That's what I'm
does.
saying. I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna store that. I'm
I
gonna
don't,
store
even,
that.
but I don't even want that though. Like I want my phone. My
You gonna
nigga.
see some weird shit. You
I
gonna
want
be
my
tight.
phone, bro. They get like kids do weird
That's the fact.
shit.
The algorithm gonna get into your shit.
Yeah,
It's
bro. My algorithm gonna be fucked.
Yo, I don't care about that shit. I'm caring more so about
Tell me
monitoring.
about
Why
it.
is there no
See a
more big
Robux-
booties on my?
Monitoring creeps, boy.
Some Robux.
Especially not. But then again, I don't know if I have if I guess it might sound bad, but if I have a daughter as opposed to a son, I might get her a phone earlier for the safety reason, type shit.
That makes sense. I
She
mean,
gonna be the one to be on social media.
I know that, but at least I could get like y'all said, I could get her like the Obama or Disney phone or some shit like
Yeah.
that.
Nigga
For me,
said
it don't gotta be like apps. It don't
I
gotta
know
be
you
no
talking about
touchscreen
though. I know you
shit.
had the Disney.
For me, like the
I know
Disney phone, you get like 3 contacts, and one of them is 911. So that's it.
Nigga
Like
said you get be your mom.
that's what I'm saying. Feel me? Like I don't know, cause I'm more so worried about the creeps and shit like that when
Yeah,
it comes
creeps
to
is
my daughter.
outside.
Feel me?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I just me, it's an exposure thing. I don't want to expose them to too much that I can't.
Too early.
That I can't give my take on first, you know, or like really give them the wisdom first, and then they learn it from people that think they smart on the internet. Yeah,
I'd rather them go outside more than actually just be on their phone.
right. And the thing is, it's tough because ain't nobody else outside. Why they outside for?
That's a fact. That is a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody outside ain't doing the right thing. Look at what we call outside now.
Bullshit.
Outside is bullshitting, going to the club,
doing stupid stuff.
party. Like it's not. That's
Right.
outside. Outside not even playing around no more.
I mean, we grown. The fuck we gonna play around? You
I
gonna go to
mean,
the park, bro?
Playing
Even
basketball
all the
hoops.
time?
Basketball hoops.
Yeah. I mean,
You
we
ain't never
gonna
did
do
a
that all
dunk, a
the
dunk
time.
shot. But
Niggas gotta give up them hoop dreams sometimes.
listen, you can always pull. But shoot, let's move on to the next topic. I think we can go here. Let's tell us about a time you evaded the law.
I thought this would be a fun topic.
Okay.
I don't know why it came to mind, but the first time I ever evaded the law, I was in 7th grade. Right? There was a way we used to walk home. Used to be like 8 of us or whatever. We all lived in the same area, and there was a Catholic school that we would have to walk by. One day, the Catholic school kids. I think the way it started is one of my friends took a chocolate bar from one of the Catholic school kids' box because they left it in front of a store that we used to always go to.
Or they wanted this box you would sell.
The selling, of the chocolates or whatnot.
The milk chocolate joints is a
Facts.
slap.
Next time we came, niggas pressed us, but nothing happened. But niggas said next time we see you, it's lit. Like it's gonna be mad people and stuff like that. So we ended up telling everybody in our fucking junior high school,
Y'all crazy.
and it was like
It was school
100
beef?
versus 30, bro. Like, but it didn't happen because the boys came and everybody just started scattering, and that was the funnest. I had so much fun running away from the police at that time. I don't know why it was so fun to me, but yeah, 7th grade, running away from the police after a brawl that was about to happen, but it didn't happen.
I gotta think. I gotta think.
All right. Well, you're supposed to think before when you
That's
got the
what I'm
topic.
saying,
But I'll go.
You right. I'm still stumped.
For me, time that comes to mind is, one of the first and only fights. Yeah, the only fight I had at when I was up at upstate.
I thought you had a couple.
It wasn't one-on-ones though. Like, it wasn't like it was like brawls more so than like. But like I had one true fight, and like so.
What was it? Heath.
Nah, yo, relax. We're not name dropping on here. That nigga
You see, I wasn't honestly. I didn't feel comfortable answering this conversation. I feel like I'm snitching on myself. I'm just saying.
Nah, because honestly,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm snitching on myself.
We not named up because he fake got a little clout now.
Crazy.
I'm not trying to even go down that path right now.
Think about that.
This is
mad haters in the comments.
Fredo gotta beep it.
and watch. He's not going to what?
Nah,
Between the both of them, it's gonna go unbeat. I promise you.
I'll take care of you.
Yeah, I'll beep it.
I promise you. Come next week Saturday when it's drop. It's gonna be unbelievable. But it's cool though. It's cool.
Take the timestamp. We gotta start doing the timestamp.
So yeah. We ended up fighting. It was in public, but like in a spot where like cops don't really roam like that. But it was after this night happened to be after a flex. So like we ended up linking up because like shit was popping off from since in the flex. So like I had left the flex like half an hour early because
when y'all stepped on each other's shoes.
Nah, this is beef from like other shit.
Oh, it's bubbling.
Yeah, like this is just other shit. Feel me?
Silver Goro.
No.
Yeah, it was.
It was never be. It would never be. I would never.
You took his bitch?
Nah, I would never.
Oh, I mean his girl.
It was nothing like it was nothing about that. I'm not going too deep into details on podcast time. But basically, to get to the long story short, we ended up doing what we did. But like after we were done, like his mans kind of wanted to go with like my other mans.
Oh, like, he wanted to fight.
They wanted to fight forever. I mean, I guess, and trying to remember as much. I think everybody had just had beef in general, but like I guess like more of a squad beef than 1-on-1. But anyway, my beef was with him. So feel me, they was about to get it rocking, but then the cops kind of swirled around and like it's a gaggle of us. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of us, like at least 20 something of us, just either people watching or people participating. So the cops getting out the car and they walking to us, and I'm looking at my man's like, yo, we gonna stay here, we gonna run because we wasn't doing nothing, but like. They was like kind of walking like the way look in their eyes. They wanted victims. They wanted something to happen that like somebody was going downtown, whatever the case may be. So we booked it. And one of the cops he started booking it after us. Oh. And I was like, oh, this nigga started.
He was on feet?
Yeah, bro. Someone's athletic for a cop. I'm like, nah, he be working out still.
Nigga had a RoboCop, the worst one.
I remember hopping a bush, all that. I ended up running because I got to a point where like I couldn't look behind me anymore because like I trying to look behind me like my man is running and he's still behind my man. So I'm like, yo, I'm not far enough, bro. So I'm booking it still. And I'm like, I forgot where. And I think I ended up in like a quad that was like way farther than where we started.
Nigga was running dumb far.
And I was like, I stopped. I had the heaviest breath. I was like,
mad adrenaline.
I've never been that gassed in my life. But either way, obviously I evaded. Nobody got in trouble, I think, behind that. But it was just interesting that the cop would actually follow behind.
Love the victims, man.
My story is I evaded the law, kinda. Like I got caught, but it could have been worse because I bust some moves that avoided me. Feel me? It goes like this. I was in Wall Street. I met up with my cousin, and she was like, oh, we're gonna smoke after work. I'm like, I bet no problem. She took me to this spot that's in between these like two big ass buildings, and I'm like, you sure we can smoke it? Like it shit is like it shit is mad open, bro. Like I'm like,
once you gotta ask, are we sure? I gotta.
Yeah,
it's not it.
And she's a girl, feel me?
So she on some.
Yeah, and she's not thinking because she's like, oh, I do this on my lunch break. I do this every day after work. I'm like, alright.
Lunch break smoking is crazy.
Yo,
people do it a lot, man.
I can't walk back in my place of business like that.
Actually, but my fault.
Either way, yo, so I'm like, yo, you sure? I asked her again, you sure? She's like, yeah. I'm like, alright, but whatever. This whole time, I just got off of work and I got like at least a half in my book bag. Feel me? And this was like 5 years ago when like
before you could have the out.
Yeah, exactly. You know like this was when you could get in some trouble for having a certain amount of weed on you type shit. So either way, so we rolling up, smoke. We in the middle of smoking, all you hear is hey, cops coming, 2 cops coming. In my head, I knew. Y'all see, I was a messenger before. I knew exactly where I was at. I knew where the train was at.
He knew the city like Spider-Man.
I was like, so I'm like, yo.
Oh, a Hoboken?
Yeah.
Over there.
I was like, yo, the cops is far enough. I could really jet. I knew where to go and everything. I take my sweater off, book bag, all that.
Cousin.
Looked at my cousin. She was dead in headlights. I'm like, it's over. I'm not about to dip on her.
She froze.
She froze crazy, bro. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, whatever. Stayed there. Cops naturally like, yo, what y'all doing? We saw y'all smoking from like the fucking windows and shit. Whole time I'm like, yo, I told my cousin we can't smoke here, my nigga. Like, so long story short, basically, like, in my head, I was like, I already know how this goes because I've had, before this numerous encounter with the law, I just know the process. So I'm like, they're going to go through my bag. They're going to go through my book bag. I got a half in it. How can I avoid them finding this half or going through my book bag? So I'm like, fuck it. I had my headphone in. This is when we had wire headphones, so I got like one headphone in. So in my head, I was just like, yo, fuck it. I'm gonna just ignore this nigga. I already know how I'm gonna play. I'm gonna ignore this nigga and I'm gonna get tight when he touch me. So
That's the plan. That was the master plan.
The shit that worked. Like, the nigga was like, yo, asking me like, yo, need your ID. I was looking straight, bro. I wasn't saying shit. Nigga, once he went like this, I was like, yo, why you touching me, son? Like, come on. Like, I didn't touch you. I put no hands on you, nothing like that. Come on, son. He's like, oh, I was talking to you. I'm like, yo, I didn't hear you. I was like, I didn't hear you. I was like, my cousin, she freaking out. She don't know what's going on. So he's like, now it's like starting to like getting a little tension. And he's like, well, I gotta see your ID. And my other process is when niggas ask me for my ID, even though it might not work, but I've noticed that when you give them your college ID first, tension eases for whatever reason. I always say it's because they realize you're probably a citizen after that. Like for me, you add some type of credibility.
Yeah, civilian.
Yeah, exactly. You're civilian. Like I'm in college. Gave him that. The nigga was like, "Oh, we need your you in college? We need your real ID." But that's cool. Then he started breaking up the conversation. More or less, the nigga like he went through just the top of my book bag a little bit. He just opened it, closed it. Nigga just gave me a little ticket.
You didn't get a whiff?
And that was it. Yeah, bro. It just took it. Nigga, I was like, yo, whew. Sheesh. My cousin and her friend, they got took into like the bookings and stuff like that because he was like, oh, we have to take you guys in because we saw y'all actually smoking when we pulled up. Like me and her other friend, we were just in the safe type shit. Like we didn't have the spliff in our hands. So we were just gonna get violation of little tickets, but they could let us go. So my cousin and her friend were the ones that had to get booked. In my head, I was like, sucks to be you, but I was like, yeah, you're gonna be out in like 40, 30 minutes. Like shit is nothing.
Right though.
But that could have been way worse than what it was. I was like, yo, for me.
I don't know how that shit worked, but it did.
Nah, it was scary times back when you really couldn't have nothing on you. Like you couldn't have even like a fucking
anything, feel me?
If it was like anything they could like grab, like if you had a handful of weed, it was over. You couldn't even have a handful, bro. But to close out the free segment, we're gonna move on to the last topic in here. Biggest personal challenge since pandemic started.
I want to go first because when the pandemic started, while everybody was out of work or whatnot, I stayed working, which is it was a blessing.
I should have quit.
I should have, because that's when in summertime niggas was making like 800 a band a week, like. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. I'm making. Huh?
Well, I missed not even allegedly.
Nah, I was on the books.
Like, that was
what was legal. That was the payout.
Like, that was the payout. I'm not making that type shit. And my biggest challenge was continuously having to go from work home, because outside wasn't open anymore. And work itself was becoming shittier and shittier day by day. The schedule was bad. So my biggest challenge was staying sane, bro. Like literally staying sane. And it was to the point where I felt like I lost my sanity just for a little bit. Just for a little bit.
You had to go outside and yell at the
I did that before.
At work. I've been there.
At work, bro.
Nah, sometimes you need a good scream sometimes.
Bro, I went to Mooresville. You know how many times I did that shit, bro? Come on,
sometimes you need a good scream. I'm here for it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I quit that shit. I'm Gucci now. But definitely staying sane was my biggest challenge throughout the pandemic. Like,
for me, it was more so like I was more so scared about getting super fat, bro. Cause you just home all the time. Honestly, like I'm not gonna say I got the best diet because I don't, but I definitely was trying to avoid, getting fat OD. Because I've noticed some people, they let themselves go a little bit for me, and I wasn't trying to be like that. I'm already for me. I'm not trying to. That's what I was trying to avoid. Like, I could gain a little weight, but once I get to a certain for me.
But niggas is like, oh, right?
Yeah.
The shirt starts sticking out too much.
Yeah.
Can't wear the wife beater the same. Bro, I hate the scamming niggas be blowing mine in the wife beater, bro.
Yo, we gotta talk about that. Yo, women be having weird fetishes. Like
they're like every big belly.
No. Every fact, it was the beards, and now it's like shorties want niggas with the pot belly.
Yeah, big belly niggas.
And I'm
But
like,
that's because they be scammers most of the time. They order takeout every day. That's why. That's Chinese food sitting in their stomach.
I'm saying, but
That's
like,
that
there's other type of skit, like they
undigested wings,
specifically want
nigga.
the pot belly. Like that shit is funny to me.
Mad
Like,
STK. You know,
Yeah,
how long
OD.
steaks stay in your body for it go through?
I don't, but
That-
that shit
that
tastes
don't.
good.
Nah, that's a fact though. Like if you're not like a vegetarian or vegan, you should only eat like once, twice a day. Honestly,
Yeah.
that shit does stay in your body. Like you said.
That shit, bro. I'm telling you, do the maths.
Niggas was thinking I was bugging.
bad
Sometimes I
maths.
told them I eat once a day, and I have like a snack like twice.
I eat twice.
I tried
Three
to-
times is a fake OD to me.
Yeah, 3 times is definitely OD. Unless you really
Hungry,
portioning
You
out
gotta be
your
like a
food.
workout
I was just about to say,
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
you working out and shit like that, facts.
That's the only time I eat more than twice, bro. If I work
I
out.
probably eat breakfast, a snack, and then I eat dinner. That's it.
Yeah, I barely have breakfast to be honest. Sometimes
I try to-
it really just be like maybe lunch and
I love
dinner.
I just
breakfast.
eat like
Maybe
a big
lunch.
dinner, like dinner, 2 sides. I can't believe I let it get to this, but sidetrack the conversation, but facts.
Nah, it be there, bro. It's cool. For me, being back to the topic, honestly, what was tough was just dealing with worry, dealing with just
You were paranoid?
not paranoid, but dealing with the worry, not for myself, but for like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
That was another one.
I didn't really want to see anybody sick. You don't know who's susceptible for real. You don't know who really gonna get it and take it the harshest. You know what I'm saying? I did have a couple family members that unfortunately get it, but they all beat it except for one being my grandfather, who I lost last May.
My condolences.
Yeah. I mean, we wasn't the closest, but I mean, it is what it is. You feel me? He was older. He was already sick. Yeah, I caught it in the nursing home. You feel me? Like on some Cuomo women.
I was just about to say, fuck Cuomo. That
Yeah.
us.
But basically, yeah, it was what it was. But that was basically my biggest thing. Like I just had to get over worrying and just put it into like other hands. It's not for me. They gonna take care of themselves. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can only control, but also much.
Exactly. But moving on from that, we got cookie crumbs.
Fuck. I just got played.
Huh?
Yeah, play that one more time.
I forgot my question.
You talked over it.
Fuck. I just got played.
What question?
The one where I said, if your mom got cheated on.
I didn't put that?
Nah.
Oh, shit, my fault.
That's on the docket though. I feel
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, it should be on the docket, but I guess he just forgot it. But we could just add it anyway.
Nah, no, I'm just.
So I feel like we can start here and then we'll go there. I wanted to start with.
I need to ask first, who is this man?
Yeah.
So-
Thank you. I dead don't know. I've never heard of this nigga before.
You've probably seen a video of him.
I was gonna say I don't know him.
I've never seen this guy's
Word?
face. I've
I've
never
never
heard of
seen
him.
him.
I don't know who he is.
All right, so let me break it down. I don't know him too well, but I've seen multiple videos
I've
where
never
he's
seen
in
him.
his car, bro, basically simping, like, fuck this nigga, fuck that nigga. Like, he has had back and forth with multiple people because of comments that they made. He's always giving women advice about what man to look after and stuff like that. Like, he's act like he's the most self-righteous man, like, almighty. Like, and he's a God-fearing man and shit like that. And he ended up...
I was gonna ask, is he a preacher? It
No,
made it seem like he
he's
was
not.
a preacher.
But he makes mad money off of women, bro, because of this message, this bullshit message that he's
Does
been...
he have a Think Like a Man book?
I don't know if he has a book or not.
All right, well, Think Like a Man book was crazy. but
But long story short, the nigga cheated on his wife.
Uh-huh.
Like the nigga that I would never cheat. Black men don't cheat. Like that. He's that type of nigga. He cheated on his wife or whatever.
it's always the niggas that say that.
Exactly.
Bro. And it ended up being a big thing because he ended up like having a whole press conference about it.
I've
Like,
seen that.
a
Like,
lot.
I see.
That's so weird.
That's the only reason I know his name is because it got popular. Like,
But that's the reason why it's so popular, because he's always pushing this message out like that he's such a great man, but he's not.
So this like Dr. Umar, we found out if he marry a white girl type shit.
Type
Is
shit.
that- is-
type
is
shit.
that,
That's
like-
a perfect
Yeah,
analogy, bro.
bad.
That's a perfect analogy.
bad.
Imagine Dr. Umar fucking marrying
That's
a
why
this
white
he's
is
a big
an
deal.
African only live stream.
Yeah, you feel
So
me?
I don't know.
That shit will shake the streets. We can't trust nobody after that.
But
Because I could lose this belly, but you'll never be 6'3", my nigga. Oh man.
But I feel like Ray has said, like I've said, that we should save the conversation for like pick me ass simps and stuff like that. And I feel like this was a perfect segue for that.
All right. So, I mean, because Ray already had his rant. So, I mean, I'll go here with it. It's just like, because I feel like all that shit be fraudy. Like, my nigga, when I see that shit on Twitter, like, niggas be like OD amping like a woman's perspective. Not to say that women be wrong. I don't want this to come off that way.
But it should come from a woman.
But exactly, like, niggas be like, and like, because like, sometimes women will slander somebody, right? Slander black men or whatever, and then a nigga will be comment under it, like agreeing with her too much. And like,
He's that type
I'm
of
like,
nigga, bro.
And I be wanting to comment like, that ain't gonna get you the box.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
That ain't gonna get you the box, my
Come
nigga.
on, son.
I'm sorry to let you know. Like,
I was gonna say, I'll take it a step further. Yes, I know we're not trying to be, misogynist and nothing like that.
Do it.
But listen,
take the pod to the next level.
listen.
We gotta go to the next level now.
Women naturally like corny niggas. I will say this to the death of me. Women like corny niggas. They want what they want. But the reason why these niggas like him, for him, whatever his name is, Derrick
Jaxn.
whatever, the reason why he be getting clout, other niggas be getting clout is because they are corny. And for whatever reason, women like that shit. Women like that shit, bro. I'm telling you. And no woman, I don't care what it is, because they be saying, oh, we want this, we want that. And I'm like, all right, so you want a corny nigga. Like, you want a nigga that's just going to buy you a gift. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, but if niggas be leading with money all the time, feel me? You want that. If you want that, just say that. Feel me? Like, bro. But they like, oh, we want a real nigga. Bitches don't even know what a real nigga is sometimes, son.
Preach.
Come on, son. Like, what they consider real, we be looking like, what? Like, and it's like, yo, where is this adding up? The math is not mathing. The only thing I will say is that I can see the confusion is because we be that advocating sometimes for simps as men. Because Future, I'm not gonna lie to you, Future be having some crazy simp songs, bro. I love Please Tell Me. Listen to that shit. That is a simp anthem.
Music though.
Nah, bro. Because that's really what he be doing, bro. Future's a simp. In my opinion, Future be a simp.
But as Fredo says, life is about balance. And he also made my collection.
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, you know what I'm saying?
I always say simping is simping again, where we have to bring back the definition. To me, simping is when you show women interest that don't, and they tell you, I'm not interested, and you continue further. Mm-hmm. That's it. Sometimes Future, in my opinion, be simping. Mm-hmm. That's all.
Rant.
I mean, yeah, we tag team.
I'm telling you, son. When we have more women on here, I'm gonna ask her like, yo, what it is that you like in men and stuff like that. Because I'm telling you,
rest in peace, Eddie.
9 out of 10, corny, son.
We always asking a joint what they like.
And then we realize, like, yeah, they like corny shit. If you want me to be a cornball, just say that. Like,
facts.
Jeez.
I'll be a cornball.
I don't know.
These are jokes. These are jokes. These are jokes, people.
They always say that on Twitter. They be like, yeah, I want a cornball, but only does cornball shit for me. That's what they be saying.
Weirdo.
I always see it on Twitter.
So it's selective energy.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Only thing I wouldn't say, if anybody hears this, we have a mostly male audience. All I want to say is that ain't gonna get you the box, bro. It ain't. Her legs is very close.
I gotta drop. Hold on, let me play the audio.
Cause my whole thing again is like, okay, you want me to be corny for you, but why does it have to be corny? Like, why can't I just be like some niggas? Like I said, I'll admit I'm a lover boy, so I'm gonna be sweet to you regardless. Like I would think in my head, not that you shouldn't be, but like, I don't want to ever be in the same sentence as corny, son. Don't call me corny.
Corny's bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a good connotation word, boy. Like when niggas be saying I'm dramatic, I don't like being called dramatic. Call me passionate. Like,
niggas at the thesaurus.
Come on, son. Like, look.
You think you gonna get some bitches off of that?
Nah, you gotta send me that. I need that in the arsenal.
But I don't know what it is about that guy, but for me,
that dude is out of here.
He's dead.
If I believe in cancel culture, cancel that nigga.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
I feel bad for shorty.
Yeah,
bro,
bro.
she's so fucking mind washed, like brainwashed. Like it's bad.
But moving conversation forward, we're gonna get into the next topic on here. I don't know what made you even get into this bag. So you gonna leave this one off?
This is a strong topic here.
Basically, because I don't want to talk about that specific thing, but when the whole Quavo and Saweetie breakup for me, and just in general, I think like other people have broke up in the past like week or 2 weeks, some shit. Like everybody breaking up and shit like that. Everybody getting cheated
summertime
on
coming.
Feel me?
Shit is falling apart.
It really made me. It really made me think.
Take care. I'm sorry. That was just
I'm not. Quavo upped it crazy with the you're not the woman I thought you was. Yeah, I'm like, yo, I gotta start that one.
It's not days of our lives.
I know that was some good shit.
You're not the woman I thought. That's perfect, bro.
Yo, that stings. That's
Shout
a
out
stinger.
Quavo. That's way better than the balls in my face. That's way better than Offset shit, bro.
Yo, yeah, now he
That's
went
way-
crazy with that one. I don't know what he was
Because
on.
I know that was
like
all.
ass cheeks.
And then he upped it with the y'all won.
Yeah.
But go ahead, my fault. Go ahead.
But either way, like I just started because again, it's two questions I always think about. One, has your mom been cheated on before? Because everyone wants to equate like I worry about the foundation of where you come from, like the reality of the situation.
Okay, I like where it's going.
So I always I ask them questions like, do you think your mom has been cheated on? Or respectfully, I'm not just a general question, was your mom a hoe? Feel me? Some people, I feel like not me, but like just in general, people just are not gonna accept that for me because that's their mother, rightfully so. But the reality of it is, again, in my opinion, based on stats and stuff like that, one of them things have to be true. It's like it's very rare when somebody like I just don't.
Nah, he's doing the math.
Feel me?
He's
I'm not
doing
gonna
the
lie.
math.
One of those things have to be true. Like your mom may have gotten cheated on.
Analytics.
Oh yeah, mom was
Facts.
probably a hoe, respectfully, because again, like I said, I feel like with everything going on, it's really hard to fathom. You know, do you believe in like what's it called, monogamy? Mm-hmm. That's like
1-to-1,
right?
Yeah.
It's hard to it's getting harder to fathom like that being monogamistic or whatever. It's like something to like stick to. Like
Right.
people don't do that. Like I've seen it less and less. I have an aunt, my aunt and uncle. They've been together since high school. I've never asked this question, but as far as I know, he's never like nobody's gotten cheated on before. But they're very private.
Mm-hmm.
They're very very private.
Since
so I
high
wouldn't
school?
know. So I'm saying I wouldn't know. But the reality of it is like, yo, 25 years in,
Since high school.
no slip ups. Like, come on, son. Like, I don't know. It's getting hard. And I mean, personally, I used to always say, personally, for me, I would never cheat. I always said that. But as I'm getting older, it's like, it's hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's getting harder. It's getting harder to like just grasp around the concept. Cause it's like, yo, like I could be with Shorty for 5 to 10 years. I could love her with all my life. Who's to say I won't slip up one time?
I be saying that because I be saying like when it comes to cheating, I be saying that like there's different reasons niggas cheat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it could just be a real bad stretch of months and you end up meeting a woman that made you feel good in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like not saying that these things are an excuse, but it's like there's different reasons. Like not just that reasoning alone, but like, you know what I'm saying? So cheating to me, it's like, it's tough. Like for me, as far as cheating now, like, it's like you gotta wake up every day and make that decision. Like, yo, I'm just gonna not cheat. Like you have to, and like women don't understand. Like that's just like we don't understand women's bodies. Women don't understand men's bodies and like how strong of an urge it really be sometimes. And that's why some niggas horny be out of control. I want to talk about that one day because some niggas is out of here, bro.
Out of here.
Out of here, bro. And like they have lost all self-control. Like it takes a lot of self-control to really, especially when you know you got it like that. Like you talk about celebs and stuff like that. Like I think it is harder for them to stay faithful because like you getting all this ass thrown at
Pussy
you,
thrown at you at least
and you come
3
talking
times
about
an
niggas
hour.
that's coming from the bottoms, bro.
Facts,
Like
facts.
come on now, it's not the same at all. But
I didn't want y'all to answer the question if your mom got cheated on. It was just a question.
no, the raw bigger
I
topic.
mean, but
I mean, I wasn't afraid to answer the question because I got family out of it.
again,
Like I know my mother got cheated on.
I mean, yeah, because the results.
It's like, I guess they had the rough patch or whatever the case was, and my dad ended up going back to his first baby mom's, and he had twins.
Having twins off the
that's tough.
Twins, bro.
off the.
I was gonna say it for me. She never said it, but it's probably like 90% you could assume it. But my mom cheated on my father. That's why they broke up. For me, so it's just the opposite. For me, usually it's the father, but my mother cheated on my father.
You have a rare situation in general.
I know.
You've always had a
I have, but
being
like I
with your
said,
fathers.
you see the repercussions of it, and it's like I said, some people when you make them decisions anyway, you still got to deal with it in the long run. Like I said, he had twins out of it. My mom, in my opinion, I don't think she really got any person better than my pops, like in her life type shit. So she probably lives with that in her head. But I'm not saying to glorify cheating in general, but it's like when you make these decisions, you got to live with the repercussions of it.
No, but I also want to speak to a point you made earlier, because when it comes to me, like and like going after women or whatever, that seriously, I tend to look at not necessarily their mom, but I look at the relationship with the father. And I think that's very important.
OD.
You know, even like my mom put me on actually to looking into like the actual relationship with the father. Like, is the father around?
Yeah.
If he's not around, do they speak? You know what I'm saying? And like, just you off of that, you can just see. Like, I had a shorty. I hope she doesn't watch this. I pray to God she doesn't. But like, like based off her, like, because her father wasn't in her life, and I don't really know where her father was at. She would never speak on him. So like, in the way her mom was, I could only imagine like what occurred between the mom and the father. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, and then like I saw it like her mom in her. You know what I'm saying? Like those certain characteristics that I knew from her a little bit. I knew from her. I saw them in her here and there, and I was like, oh, okay, like this kind of all like wraps around. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a trickle down effect.
Yeah, the whole family spectrum like matters to like who you become. You know what I'm saying? Like, and who you are, and just the little things that will tweak you off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's really important to look at the parents of whoever you're seeing.
And that's why, again, going back to our conversation, as a parent, you should do the due diligence of, for me, noticing these behavior and stuff like that, and making sure your offspring is not like you in that way. For me, obviously, there's always going to be similarities, but you're supposed to let your kids be themselves.
That's a fact.
That's all. For me, as simple as that.
Period. Shoot, let's get into the last topic.
With a period.
You can't say period. That's
Hey, let it go.
That's a
Last
feminine.
topic, bro.
We didn't say it was a bad thing, bro.
It's a feminine term.
We just said you hit us with it. We didn't know that was going.
I didn't care. For me,
All right, cool.
It was just funny, bro.
I didn't care.
All right.
It was just funny. That was it.
All right, cool. Last topic of cookie crumbs. I thought this was an interesting topic. I just thought of this on the blue, just like the last topic. If you don't attract your type, are your standards too high?
I wanted to start. I don't have a type, bro.
I mean,
don't
type
type
being
either.
more so not like
what you're
phenotype,
asking,
not
though.
phenotype necessarily.
What
but,
are you asking exactly? Because I don't. See.
But like your type, like the type of, like especially this is more so I guess if women were here it would be better. But like you know how women ask for, you know, they want the like
credentials, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
credentials.
do you
That's
want,
the best word.
Yeah,
Thank
for
you.
me, you want credentials. Like, what do you look for in a woman?
Okay,
Not-
okay,
More
okay.
so, more than the physical aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for doing
no problem.
Yeah, that was.
Ray's always here to clarify.
I mean, I assume that's what I'm saying.
Nah,
like,
nah, yeah.
I just read it for what it was.
Nah, it was type like it doesn't speak to like physical.
Yeah,
like I said. I wasn't
it's more
speaking
to
of-
type than just physical.
Because for me, it's like the way I view this question when I thought of it was just like if you're the type of person that like you want certain things, but like you always complain like, yo, I never get this type or whatever, or I want this but I never get it. Chances are, in my opinion, your standards are too high. Like you're setting yourself at a bar you'll never reach. That's how I view it. I don't know how y'all feel.
I was gonna say, like, I've noticed, I kind of agree with you, but it's more so I think about it like this. Some people, I feel like their standards be too high, but they themselves don't even have anything to show for it. It's like they want, like I said, I want a strong woman, feel me, type shit. That's my type. I like strong women that probably have like independence and stuff like that. Now, I would consider myself independent, but if I still was like relying on my father or something like that to like get by in life, that wouldn't make sense for
you
me
to
to
look for that.
Yeah, for me to look for that. So I feel like in general, people, not even just men, like women in general, people in general, they have high standards, what they consider high standards, but they have nothing to show for themselves. So it's like, first of all, you're not getting your type because you don't fit the criteria.
All right, so we're gonna transition into the lunch line chatter.
I got news for you.
This is the last.
The last topic of the night. Let's start here. Actually, both of these suck, so I guess we start anywhere. The NCAA women's tournament has been underway, but at the start of it, when they first arrived to there, because they're doing a bubble for those that don't know, just like the NBA did, where everybody that's competing is there until they lose and they go home. When the women arrived there, they arrived to see there was no real weight room. What they left them with was one solo rack of free weights that looked like it went up to probably about, 15?
And sanitized yoga mats.
And sanitized
Three of
yoga
them.
mats. Yeah, not even enough for like the team. So when then you look at that in comparison to the men who had basically a full facility with squat racks, bench racks, everything you need to work out.
And it's not even just that; it was the food.
Yeah, I heard, for me, the food they getting is trash. I heard even like the fucking COVID test they're getting, it's not like regular COVID test that the men are getting. It's one of them like the super rapid test.
There's no child care for anyone.
It's that I heard even like the you know the gifts and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
little
People be getting
baggies,
swag
nigga.
Yeah,
they
swag-
got the
shit.
bullshit camp bags, like the shit that we
And
used
a
to
towel,
get, bro.
and
Facts.
a towel, and I heard they got a puzzle. A puzzle, my nigga.
Puzzle's crazy.
Puzzle.
What are you giving NCAA basketball players a puzzle for? Like in general,
That shit pissed me off when I was watching. Like, I think it was First Take when I found that out. Like when the I forgot what school she goes to, and she's the one that basically
think it
broke
was
the
Oregon.
story.
I was just
I think it was
I
Oregon.
think it's Oregon.
And like it wasn't First Take. It was
Jalen Jacoby.
no
Undisputed.
the shit with four of them. Before them, he pressed the buttons to give him points.
Pardon the interruption.
Pardon the interruption. No.
No. That's Michael Wilbon.
Yeah.
On the horn.
Round the horn, there we
Round
go.
the
Yeah,
horn. I was watching that shit, and they had two former basketball players, and they were like basically saying that they've been going through shit like this, but now in this day and age, somebody can actually document it, and it can spread like wildfire, and it can be more support. But it's just sad, bro, that this is a thing. Like the NCAA is fucked. Like it's so bad. The higher ups suck at what they do, and it's been like that. So that for them to violate women athletes like that, bro, is unacceptable. That shit is disgusting.
Meanwhile, they got
nigga.
fucking commercials and shit like that talking about like, oh, we trying to put the women first. And stuff like
Yo,
that. Like,
niggas is crazy.
like,
Bro, and in the NBA, I forgot what they said exactly, but I just basically they were just like, oh, like we're gonna fix it, like relax, basically like yo, relax, we're gonna fix it, like basically. I'm like, yo, bro, like
No,
yo,
what it was thank you for making us aware of the situation. Now we're gonna fix it. Like, nigga, you knew. Like, what are you talking
Exactly.
about?
like, y'all
way.
set that up, bro. Yeah,
I've noticed in general, that like a lot of people's actions in this world don't add up to their morale. Like, feel me?
Performative.
Yeah, feel me? Like, it's like they say one thing, but it's like, yo, what are you showing? How is your behavior fitting what you're saying?
Right.
And it's so weird. Like you said, why do they even have to do this? Like, why do they have to show awareness in general? Why can't they just get the same shit as the fucking men? Like,
Literally the same shit. Like,
that's like it's like a human rights thing at this point for
Bro.
sports, bro. Like,
is that because I forgot what they were saying. Like I think it's section 11, some title 9 or title some title that like they violated their rights basically.
okay.
I forgot,
but it's like, yo, it's really sad. Like, and I feel bad because again, that's the NCAA. It don't stop there because I've heard stories about the WNBA and what they got to do too. So it's like, money is one thing, but now we talking about this is a human rights thing. Be like,
literally, you can give the exact same thing.
exactly. Like, this has nothing to do with money at all. Like, feel
Basically.
me? Like, I don't understand. Like, I still don't understand why this is the case. Like, my guy, you're making money off these women in general for the school.
Right.
It might not be as much as the men, but
Still making profit.
exactly. Like, you can't give them the same thing, son. Like, this is super ridiculous, bro. I really feel bad that they had to go through this.
And the thing is, I looked it up because I didn't even really realize like women have to do the whole 4 years to go to the league. Yes,
The whole four.
like I mean, I think you have to be 22.
Pretty sure. I
thought
wouldn't
it
be
was-
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, bro.
You have to be 22 to enter the
It
league.
was after the sophomore.
Nah. You gotta be.
Shit, bro.
You gotta.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You gotta be like 22 to enter.
Niggas not gonna see Paige.
Nah, Paige not going till
She was supposed to go to Brooklyn, bro. It's Sabrina.
this is New York, but nah.
They play in Brooklyn, nigga.
Brooklyn got a team?
The New York playing in Barclays now.
Yeah.
The Liberty.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'll double check myself, but I'm pretty sure you gotta be. I think it's 22.
That's
you gotta
tough,
be,
bro.
Yeah. So they gotta like literally endure that.
Damn.
And once I heard that women got to play pregnant, I was like, yeah, I don't understand.
Play
this is
pregnant
fucking
is
nuts.
OD.
I was like, that's fucking nuts.
I mean, some women don't mind it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
they
22.
strive for that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not gonna let it stop them. But
I hear you.
for
but-
them to have to, like it's
yeah,
a
that's what I'm
requirement,
saying.
is
Like,
crazy.
That's crazy, bro. That's fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah, honestly, the NCAA count your fucking days.
Shout out,
Count your
in fact,
fucking days.
shout out Steph Curry because he's one of the people on the forefront trying to advocate for NCAA and just women basketball rights.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant because he was
Facts.
one of the biggest advocates
Facts.
for women's sports, bro.
Facts. All right, so moving on to our last topic of the night, and honestly, probably the most somber thing of the night. It is.
So that's why we usually had lunch at it first. It's usually somber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But regardless, Colorado had a shooting
Again.
once again, and it was in a place another place that you really just don't expect to even have your guard up like that, in a supermarket. And 10 people lost their lives. unfortunately. Rest in peace to those people. Condolences to their family for sure.
For sure.
But one thing that I wanted to even take from this, I don't want to stick on the shooting because we already know that's just white terrorism at its finest.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to say, because I had this conversation with my coworker, and it's like, we were talking about, gun law. And like, I think it's the Second Amendment, I believe. Is it?
I don't know.
It is.
The Second Amendment that allows you to have the right to bear arms. Now, people have been against changing the amendment because obviously, one, they just want their guns and at an easy route. And then two, there could be potential to change other things if you change one thing. But my thing is, clearly we see how big of an issue gun law is, and just like there needs to be some type of screening. There needs to be better this, better that. But with that being said, it kind of would end up going against the Constitution, the amendments, so they would have to be kind of changed. So my question to you guys is it worth opening up that rabbit hole of changing amendments, things that have been in place forever, to change certain things, but then or to leave open that slippery slope, or should we just leave it how it is and kind of deal with the sparse here and there, the here and there, the here and there?
It can definitely be dangerous to open that door, but at the end of the day, them shits was written in 18, whatever the fuck,
17th century.
whatever. Yeah, like come on, bro. We in the 21st century. Niggas is wildin'. Niggas is dying every day. Like getting a gun is way too fucking easy. And being a devil's advocate, I understand why a lot of people wouldn't want to change this. But there has been too much terrorism in our fucking country, bro. Like, if you look at the stats and compare United States shooting deaths to fucking other countries, even continents, like, they don't compare to the totals, bro. Like, it's ridiculous. So
what if I told you there's been more mass shootings this year than days of the year so far? There's been 102 this year. I don't know if that's specific to the U.S. or if that's over the globe, because a mass shooting is 4 or more.
Yeah.
So it's been 102. I can't remember if it's U.S. or globally, but there's been 102.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
In 2021.
I mean, honestly, I feel like, when it comes to stuff like this, America is a progressive country when it's convenient for them. And basically, like, right now, it's not convenient for them. Nigga, the people fucking stormed the Capitol with guns. And they still are not going to amend this law. So again, it's a cool idea.
It is.
But the realism is, if fucking people could storm the Capitol with guns, what somebody has to blatantly shoot the president or some shit, like, for them to take this seriously,
dire
like,
gotta happen.
Something really crazy has to happen.
Mad dire shit already happened. That's
Bro,
the craziest part.
Like, I don't know how much more dire we're trying to get.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I don't think, like, feel me, again, it's a cool idea, but it's just not convenient for them to do it right now.
Too much money. All that shit.
For me, it's just not convenient. I feel like what's that shit called? The NRA?
Yeah. The National Rifle Association.
That's like I'm just saying this. I'm pretty sure if you look it up, it'd probably be true. But I guarantee you, they're probably one of the top 5 or 10, like, most
earners,
earners, or like they give the donations to, like, people that run for president, and the government, stuff like that. Feel me? They're never going away, bro. They need that money. They make too much and they get too much in donations. It's not.
I mean, cause my thing is, I feel like we should treat guns like we treat cars. I feel like cars, you gotta have up-to-date registration. You gotta have up-to-date, licensing. Just a bunch of stuff. Like they've pretty much found a way to regulate everything about a car, pretty much. So I feel like we could treat guns that way, but people are against that. The right, because obviously there's the left, there's the right. The right-wing people are just like, basically they're using the argument of, we can't let a few bad apples spoil the bunch, essentially. And I'm just like, how many bad apples are in the bunch?
The bunch is spoiled.
That shit is fucked,
The bunch
bro.
is spoiled.
The bunch is spoiled.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not open to really changing amendments, but definitely need to find some way to get more regulation somehow.
It's sad, bro.
And
If we can't get regulation, I will say, I don't know how people gonna feel about this, but black people, get as much guns as you can right now. Get as much guns as you can right now. Protect yourself by any means necessary, because when everything go up, eventually they're gonna stop a lot more black people from getting guns.
Okay, Raymond, next.
Facts.
That's all.
With that being said,
That is the end of our show. Thanks for everybody who listened out to this point in the pod. We love everybody that fucks with us.
love you.
And we hope to see you guys next week for our next podcast.